Would you like to talk about her a little bit before we go into the emotion code experience?
Oh gosh, I could talk for hours about Lucy.
Right, right. Well, I'll cut you off at some point.
I mean, I guess for context,
Hmm.
like, old senior, a senior cat, I guess that,
Hmm.
that can be starting at age 10. But the emotion code idea for doing an emotion code emerged specifically, I think, because you had received the training and it was something that felt like it could be a healing kind of restorative end of life um,
Hmm.
component. She had had kidney failure for over a year, um, and I guess as a cat she was one of two for most of her life. So our other cat Cleo also had um, survived with failing kidneys for several years, lived to be just shy of 19, and had died the year before, year
Hmm.
and a half before. So, and Lucy was super connected to all of us. As cats are so different, but
Hmm.
she, was super bonded, in particular to our son and to us, and so we kind of tried to make her as comfortable as we could in these last few months, and you cared for her at those times when she started to use wee wee pads, and she was like this tiny little skinny little creature
Hmm.
that received affection, happily, but basically ate and slept and went to her wee wee pad and peed, and that was kind of her routine in the last moments. Super, very playful. We think she might have been also losing her sight at the end,
Hmm.
but I think, and I remember it was October. It was October last year. So
Oh,
the
yeah.
seasons were changing here, and she just seemed a little extra uncomfortable, and was was not moving around very much, eating less, the things that happen with cats. And I think I was getting ready to go for a walk in the park, and I remember you and I had spoken, or we were texting about her, and I was already feeling like experiencing loss. I think we all were with her. And while I was out, you did an emotion code session with her, I believe.
Right, right. And prior to that, I had mentioned like when I was babysitting for her, I didn't want to do an emotion code session because I was afraid that it might actually trigger her passing,
Yeah.
right? So I wanted to make sure that, to coordinate with you and explain that possibility and make sure that, right, you were there with her.
Yeah.
Um,
And I have pictures, of us after you did I went on the walk, came back. I believe I had brought her into, I don't remember exactly where she was. She spent a lot of time here on the chair, but I brought her into the bedroom and was laying down with her after the session. I remember she seemed very calm, like sort of relaxed, not, agitated, not as uncomfortable. She was at the end, very, very thin and so very
mm,
light. But I think, but I have a picture of her on me, or she looked like this tremendous cat.
oh,
She, long and like she
mhm.
was stretched out, and we were there for like 3 hours. I believe the sun went down while we were there, and I think called. Uh, we have an incredible vet, who comes to the house and facilitates. Cats will hang on and hang on, for as long as they perceive they're needed by their
Right,
people. And so
right.
she would have, I mean, she would have died. It would have taken a while because starvation takes a while, and it's not
Mm,
very comfortable. And so some animals need help with that. And we certainly didn't want her to suffer physically,
right, right.
Um, And so anyway, the vet came, a few days later. It wasn't very long.
Soon after that session, yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed, when you wrote up the session, there was a lot, that you had written up that came out,
Mm.
that was released from your session with her. I don't know how long it took. I don't remember that.
It takes me usually about 30, 40 minutes or so to do a session, and about an hour by the time I like transcribe everything. And yeah, so it's kind of time consuming. I tend to be slower than others because I use a pendulum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I take more time. Like I don't trust myself, so I go really slow. I want to be really clear. Yeah,
Yeah, and
but it's
there was a lot. There was a lot
yeah.
in
Yeah, it was what was interesting. There were emotions related to
Cleo.
her. Yeah, right. To clear her, right. Her life partner, we could
Yeah,
say,
her
right?
sister cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So who also lived until 19? Also, was it the same age? Or
Very close to 19.
very, very,
It
right,
was about a
very
month
close,
shy. Yeah.
right? So incredible. Those cats spent 18 years together.
Yes, easily.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we're not biological sisters, but they were basically
Mm,
raised together. We're
right.
2 months apart.
Right.
Lucy was younger than Cleo. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Did not recognize those emotions that she was holding. Like we didn't know.
Right, right. There would be no way for us. So one of them was like a longing, it seemed like a longing to be reunited
With
with her.
Cleo.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. So yeah, so that was interesting. I'm often shocked by the emotions that come out because many times actually we expect emotions to kind of be unrelated because there's just so many things that get trapped during the course of our life. Um,
mm,
and you never know what might be affecting, for example, some physical condition. But it's a little bit different in this case because of I wasn't trying. The goal was not to try to heal anything. Of course, she was 19 years old, right?
yes.
So
Yes.
the goal was to try to ease the passing, so to say. So it was a more of a general thing, and then just to let out I guess the body would release, or the entity would release what it feels is it needs to release,
Mm,
right? So yeah, those are some, and so it was interesting anyway to see those, not really things coming up that seemed related to any of the physical stuff. It was emotional,
yeah.
all about her sadness, heartache, longing. Yeah, it was a very interesting. And then, and so of course, um, just to be clear, after the session, well, not only you, but I guess your family was able to feel a difference in her,
Yeah.
right? So that's of course, that's what it's really all about, right? For us to be able to, yeah. And it's hard because and in this case, we weren't really expecting or looking for tangible physical things. Not like she's going to jump up and start running around like everything's okay, and she's going to live another 10 years or something.
Oh gosh, no.
But yeah, you guys could definitely feel something was changed for the better. Yeah,
Yeah,
for the better. So yeah, that's nice. So I feel good about that too. Yeah, so it's nice. Cool. Yeah, yeah, very, very good. Very
definitely.
good.
Letting
But
go, letting go. She was able to let go, and then
yeah.
just affected. I mean, it's simple physics, right? Like
Mm,
every living thing, when there's a change,
hmm.
affects all the other living things or entities, as you said. So
Mm,
yeah, and
right, right.
because we were all, yeah, 19 years. It wasn't like 9 months, although that would have had an effect on us too, I'm sure. But yeah, she was very didn't, like I said, didn't do that much and at the end, but there was a perceptible difference.
Mm,
I guess calm is the word that comes to mind.
mm.
It's not as
At peace. Yeah.
agitated, kind of Yeah,
Mm,
at peace for sure. And
right.
yeah, so
Cool, cool.
right.
Yeah, nice. She was a, yeah, and like, once again, thank you for that opportunity to be involved. Because of
Sure.
course, it's a very sensitive, very personal thing. There's a family member of 19 years.
Yeah.
Um, she was a family member longer than your own son,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
right?
He's
So,
been really a life
yeah,
for he really I mean, he
yeah,
did it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yep.
really, really interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Sure.
thank you. Thank you for sharing all that.
Sure. Thank you
So,
for
yeah, I thought that was, for other people, maybe it'll help them understand some of the possibilities. Because I know, a lot of people are just usually they're focused on, they just want a quick fix for a physical ailment, but there's so much more than that in life. So we are all emotional beings, and of course, those emotions do affect our physicality too, but it's not all about that.
right. And I would
Yeah.
imagine, as you were saying, imagine that there's a lot of that nonverbal
Mm,
uh you know, kind of energy exchanges and
mm,
sensing that happens. Sorry about the siren. Nothing I can do about it
it's
though.
okay.
Maybe this is
That's
just
Brooklyn.
calling attention to or away from what I was saying. But that there's there's a way that all of that, it's all happening whether we're conscious of it or not. And so I guess the emotion code, the concept of an emotion code or having trapped released emotions just is another way of understanding or experiencing that that which is already happening anyway in
Right,
terms of
right,
us
right,
affecting each other,
right, right. Well, of course, you do that using different techniques. I mean, you're a licensed social worker and a creative arts therapist, among other things. So, you're also using all different kinds of techniques to help people handle their emotions, process their emotions, and et cetera. I mean, we have endless methods and techniques. The emotion code is just one that I was drawn to.
yeah.
And so, and new compared to so many other things that have been around for thousands of years or hundreds of years or decades longer.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so and there'll be other new methods, I mean, we're all always learning. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad. I'm just happy to be able to have that tool that I can apply sometimes. And I think so. One other thing too is, usually we cannot help our family, right? So
Yeah.
like even like a medical doctor is going to ask another doctor to help someone in their family.
Hmm.
So it's really nice when we can actually do something for a family member, because that's different because of of course, the close personal relationships and such. It makes the context is complex, so but anyway, yeah. So in this case, I'm glad I was able to do that. So I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust the, person and trust the process.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, thank you again.
Yeah,
Thank you again.
sure. Thanks
Awesome.
for
Thanks.